Hey everybody, it's Alex, the founder and CEO at Motoroso, your dedicated mods marketplace. And today we're in studio to talk about the DeatschWerks X2 series fueling module for the 5-liter Mustang GT. Now, the Mustang GT, great platform for producing tons of horsepower, but at anything past 650, the fueling system can start to be a bit of a bottleneck. Now we've got a Mustang with a Phase 1 supercharger by Roush. That's rated to about 630 horsepower, and we haven't had any fuel starvation issues. But we're about to bump up to the Phase 2 supercharger, which is rated at 750 horsepower. We also have a whole bunch of cooling mods from Mishimoto, and we're going to be tuning aggressively, so we want to try and push past that if we can, and we know that fueling is going to be a bit of an issue. So we're going to be installing this X2 series system. We're going to take you through the features of everything that goes in to fueling for that kind of power. Now, each of the products that we're talking about here are sold separately, and in the description of the video, we'll put a nice line item with part numbers and links. But the first part we'll talk about is going to be the fuel rails. Upgraded fuel rails are going to help flow more volume of fuel into the engine. But the most important thing here is that it's going to make this a return system versus a returnless system. Your stock fueling system does not have a return line that sends fuel back into the fuel tank, so that return system is going to help keep, prevent vapor lock, keep the fuel cooler. It's also going to help maintain a more consistent pressure throughout the whole system to make sure that tuning is as easy as possible and you can maximize the power coming out of the fuel system. And the star of the show, of course, the X2 series dual pump module. Now this thing has a beautiful aluminum top plate, which mounts right in the stock location under your rear seats. It has the receiver for the return line coming back from your fuel rails, and this beautiful billet machined aluminum and anodized pump housing, which hosts the two DW400 pumps from DeatschWerks, which when combined can flow 767 liters per hour at 50 PSI. That is a ton of fuel, more than triple what your stock 5-liter is equipped to do, and that's how you can support those big horsepower numbers. Now, it'd be remiss of me to not mention that DeatschWerks fuel pumps are not just any fuel pumps. These things are built to highly exacting standards, and they will perform at the levels they're designed to for a very long time. I mean, they put these things through thousands of hours of testing when they're designing them, and they even have application-specific designs. These things just aren't one size fits all. Now, they also encapsulate the motor to make sure that the copper windings are protected from the fuels. The brushes are carbon, and the impeller is made of a composite material that's super lightweight, not only making it more efficient, but it's resistant to the corrosion of ethanol. And that's right, if you want to run E85, these pumps are fully compatible for E85 conversion if you want to run those big horsepower numbers. Now, to get all this hooked up, pumping and flowing, you're going to need two more parts from DeatschWerks. First, you're going to need their dual pump wiring kit, which has all the electrical wiring and relays necessary to connect the X2 series dual pump module, as well as the plumbing kit, which is going to include your super high volume stainless steel braided fuel lines, which of course are resistant to the corrosion of E85. They can handle the ethanol, and you're going to get your dual stage filtration fuel filter, high flowing, high volume, but very, very high grade of filtration to make sure you keep all that particulate out of the fuel and out of the injectors. And it's going to come with the DeatschWerks fuel regulator, which will of course also accommodate that return line going back into the tank from the fuel rails. Now, all this fueling system volume and flow and power is going to mean nothing if you send it into stock injectors. So of course we're running DeatschWerks 1200cc injectors. Now, your stock fuel injectors 340 cc's. This is a more than triple increase in the amount of volume that can be flowed into that cylinder. Very, very necessary for making sure that you're getting the juice in there. Now, like everything else we've talked about here, these are not just any injectors. Back in 2005, DeatschWerks was really a pioneer in creating vehicle-specific applications for fuel injectors. These are products that do need to be designed to get maximum performance for the engine that they're actually going in. And when they're designing these fuel injectors, they go through like a 450 data point process to make sure that these things are designed to perform at the maximum for its actual application. Now, additionally, when they sell you a set of 8 of these, they are flow matched. And what that means is that they bench test the actual injectors that you get have been bench tested to make sure that all 8 injectors are within 2 points of each other, 2 cc's of each other. So yeah, you might get 8 of them that are 1198 instead of 1200, but when they're matched like that, they're gonna perform better, they're gonna be more consistent, make sure you have consistent pressure across each cylinder, and that allows for more perfection in tuning and maximum results. All these components together are gonna set you back upwards of about $3,000, but of course, this is a top-of-the-line fuel system that's E85 compatible and can support that 1300 horsepower number if that's where you're going. Now, if you have questions about these, don't hesitate to reach out to us on Motoroso.com on live chat or call us 833-MOTOROSO. Now, with all this fuel, you're going to be making a lot of power. That's probably going to mean a lot of heat. So check out this Mishimoto cooling video about how to keep the car cool and allow you to tune even further.